Oh, good evening, everybody. We've got a special guest in the house tonight to talk all things Batman, but Batman Revolution. We have John Jackson Miller in the house. It's going to be a fun time tonight here on Two Geeks and a Microphone.
Welcome to the Two Geeks and a Microphone podcast, your one-stop shop for television, movie, video games, comic books, book reviews, and more. Now, without further ado, here's Steven and Mike.
Hello there. So who talks first? You talk first. I talk first.
I'll talk first. Hey, everybody. Welcome to the show, Two Geeks and Microphone. I am your co-host, Mr. Steven Bosser, along with the one, the only, Mr. Michael Shanks. Mike, say hey to everybody.
Good evening to all you geeks out there in geekdom land. I can't talk.
That's all right. And we've got our super-duper special guest, friend of the show. We love him a lot. Mr. John Jackson Miller. John, say hey to everybody.
Glad to be here. I've been bribed with glassware.
Oh gosh! Well, we
won't give away all of our secrets.
Well, I mean, I think you said that like 2-3 years ago, and it still exists, which is amazing.
Right.
My household.
Nice. That's impressive.
We appreciate it.
Thank you.
Now my dishwasher is a destructive force unknown to man.
Well, we're just a few moments late, but we're excited to be here with you because we've already been talking briefly about, we're here to really talk about John Jackson Miller's, I want to give the whole author name. So his latest book, Batman Revolution. Now, if you remember, everybody has their copy. I should bring up my Audible. I have an Audible copy of it. Listen to. Does that count?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, you purchased it, so.
Yeah. So, we're here to talk about that. But have you had any other works come out since then? That just came out last October. Right?
Yeah, it came out in October. Did a couple of weeks book touring on that. Did conventions in Minneapolis and Ohio, and have spent the last month recovering from all of that and working on more things and trying to figure out the taxes. One of the things when you do as many miles as I do, I think I did 50,000 miles last year, including Greece and France.
Oh wow!
One of the things is you're working out your taxes, and you're having to figure out, okay, what did I actually buy at that vending machine in the airport 10 months ago? What was that? That was a convention meal. What was that? Hot dog? I can't remember.
Right?
Yeah.
What is this $26 for? Oh, it was a single hot dog.
Well, I will say, now that I'm doing a whole lot of shows, the best thing about it is, we now have, me and my sort of street team. We actually have a list of what restaurants we've gone to successfully in various cities near conventions,
nice.
and then which ones didn't pan out.
Nice.
Aha. You ever going to publish that list of your favorites?
I don't know. It's not even really favorites. It's what's still open half the time, because you're downtown. You're usually downtown, and some of these cons don't let out until after 8.
Right.
And the dealer room, and so depending on the downtown, they might roll everything up at 5.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's right. They do. Well, let me ask you, so with the cons that you've done since the book came out, how's been the reception from the book from the fans?
The reception has been amazing. I would even say it's been better on book 2 than book 1, which is the resurrection. It's really one big 950 page story. We were able to do what we did in Revolution in part because we had so much groundwork out of the way. We'd gotten our introductions of the characters from the Tim Burton movies, in the first book. So we had already seen, Vicky Vale. We had already seen Selena Kyle. We had already seen Max Schreck.
Yeah.
We kind of, know what the situation is. And then I was able to add characters in book one that I knew I was using in book two, like our Riddler.
Yeah. Yeah. It's great. I gotta say, I'm having a blast with it. I'm loving it. I have an audiobook and I'm having a really good time with it. It's been a lot of fun because it's not just another Batman adventure as much as it is the
Burton verse.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Burton verse. I will say this, please. There are times when I listened to it and it was Max Schreck that I wanted to hear the Christopher Walken voice sometimes.
Yeah. This is Will Dameron has done the audiobooks for both of them, and
he's doing great job.
You have to make a decision. He and I discussed it after the first book. You kind of have to make a decision. Are you going to try to do impressions, or are you going to try to actually act out the book? The thing about it is everybody on Earth has a Jack Nicholson impression. Everybody has a Christopher Walken impression. And, if that's what you do and people think it's off in some way or shape or form, well, then they're responding to that, rather than, the narrative of the book, which should be out front. I mean, Kermit was on, TV the other night, Kermit the Frog, and he didn't quite sound like Kermit the Frog, and now all people are talking about is that Kermit the Frog.
We have not watched that yet.
Yeah. So they have they've had a new voice for many years, but again, that's kind of the thing is that gets distracting. Also, we're talking about an audiobook that I think is 18 hours long, in the current one. And so that's a long time to try to stay in a voice that you don't normally necessarily do. So what he's done is he's found people at his range, really almost is more of a Batman animated series, sounding kind of a cast, I think. I think definitely his Alfred is very much like Efren Zimbalist. So so anyway, and so that is just something that you have to kind of do. When I'm writing though, I'm writing to try to make it sound like the character, and so you will find little snippets of lines from the movie or the movies in the novel. And by snippets, I mean like a phrase or a word or two, where from you'll be reading along and it will ring a bell, and you'll be back in with thinking, oh, well, that sounds like the character. And the reason it sounds like the character is you've heard the character say something like this before on the screen. So there's an example very early in the book where Max Schreck is saying that you may not know who these statues of these people are here from Gotham City's history. Shame on you. And again, shame on you is a line that he says to Bruce Wayne. Too much power. Shame on you, Bruce. No such thing. And the fact that you've heard it, says to you, oh, well, that's what you don't want to do. You don't want to do a whole lot of that kind of thing. I've got a bad feeling about this. Dropping lines from movies. You just don't do that. But a word here, or even something pulled, meta out of somewhere else, if it sounds like something that character has said. So there's another Max Schreck line in here where he talks about the Riddler doing his little crack-em-ups. Well, that's a line from uh, not Max Schreck, but Christopher Walken in one of his Saturday Night Live monologues. He uses the word "crack 'em ups" to refer to jokes, and again, obviously he's not Christopher Walken is not Max Schreck, but if it causes a bell to ring somewhere,
Would it be a cowbell?
Not that. Oh, stop.
No, we do that.
He doesn't ever want to hear that word again.
I can't imagine.
SNL did a 50th anniversary documentary about that, and they could not get Walken for it, and this is why. He's just, please stop. It was a thing he did, and let it go.
Right? That's funny. Well, it was the audiobook is fantastic. I mean, I am just enjoying it to pieces. Yeah, and even your writing is really, really good. I've been trying to learn about writing. I think we talked about that last time on the show, and just how we're learning and getting into it. But you're just how you position your storytelling, and even how you do backstory telling. It's just fabulous because it all fits. It's not like, hey, all of a sudden I'm going to talk about my past, hey, I lived here in the library, and hey, there's a library. It was seamless and organic, and it was great to follow along as you're telling the story.
Well,
so
you're always looking for, where do I put this? I'm working on something now, and it's like, okay, I'm always the world building, or the stuff where you have to explain somebody's history, or the history of the setting or whatever. You're looking for, well, is there a way that we can actually everybody says show don't tell, and that's fine. You can put some action scenes all over the place and get into these things, but at the same time, sometimes there's no substitute for a flashback. When I started working for Marvel more than 20 years ago, Tom Brevoort told me on Iron Man, he said, flashbacks, we hate them. It causes everything to grind to a halt while it's happening. And so then you look at a scene and you say, well, is there any way that I can take this flashback and mirror it with the present day somehow? Or holographically in Star Trek, put the characters in the in the scene of the history. Again, that's wonderful. I mean, in filmmaking, I always think back at the movie War Games, and they had built the mission control set at NORAD, and with all these huge screens with images going on, and they had all these scenes that they were going to be doing in offices and boardrooms and discussion rooms and everything. And they realized, let's rip the walls out and put, the windows there. So you're always seeing the $1 million on that wall. And that was a brilliant way of doing that. And you're dragging the main thing, the stakes of the scene or whatever, putting our characters in it, even though we're having a boring debate over how to run the nuclear war machine. We're seeing it. It's there. We're in the middle of it. And so I'm looking for ways, how can I actually do this? And if there's something where there's I just can't avoid it, I'll do a flashback. It's good to try to separate it out time-wise. I think we have a flashback here that is our prologue. We have a flashback in the first book that is our prologue as well.
Yeah,
nice.
Yeah, it's good. It's good. So for those of you who may not, let's give everybody kind of a brief overview of what's happening in Batman Revolution. How would you describe when someone asks you, "Hey, give me your pitch on the book"? What would you? How do you respond?
Well, book one, Resurrection, was Batman 5 months after the end of the original Batman movie, coming to terms with sort of his role in Gotham City, coming to terms with the fact that the Joker, who was unique to this universe, the person that killed his parents, the Joker is gone, or is he? And answering the question of why would he continue to do this thing with the Joker taken care of, and sort of recommitting by the end of the book to this whole idea, which is he's going to protect Gotham City. We move ahead about a little over a month to the next book, and we're beginning to see that the Rogues Gallery is getting more populated. We have a serial killer that is at large at the beginning of the book. And we'll find out what kind of a guy, superpower or not, what is he? Is this somebody who's what is this person's motive? Gives Batman a chance to be a detective. We also have we're heading into the summer in Gotham City. This takes place, the novel, over about 5 weeks in June and July of that first year following the end of the Batman '89 movie. It is a boiling stew pot of protests and various other things going on, all of which was rooted in stuff from the movies. Our second book is about, or not second book, our second movie is about trying to recall the mayor, and bring in a penguin. So, we have a populace that is easily motivated to the streets. We also know from the first movie that conditions in Gotham City are pretty dire. The city, its bicentennial event is bankrupt. We have people who are more than happy to go out into the streets to get money dumped on them by a guy who just tried to poison the whole city. This is
who do you trust?
exactly.
Me?
So exactly. So yeah, there's very much there's it's not a utopia, Gotham City. And
Yeah.
so what I wanted to do was show that the city has changed a little for the better. There's even some talk about, well, this neighborhood is improving now that Batman is around. But at the same time, I wanted to deal with some of these other things. I also wanted to show that Gotham City had a life. Gotham City had things going on before Batman got there. The Riddler in our book is somebody who has been doing his own part in the fight against crime on his own longer than Batman has been. We have another character who I won't get into, who also has been active for a long time, much longer than Batman. We also have a subplot among several where before Bruce Wayne brought the whole Batman project public, we had a city government that part of the reason they went broke is they were building these riot vans that come up fairly early in the book and end up being a big thing. And so the challenge for me as a writer is juggling all these things and then putting them in their proper places, and making sure that when they pay off, it's like, oh well, I'm glad that we learned about these things 200 pages ago instead of just had it dropped on us just now.
Yeah. 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 The biggest thing is, so in this one, we've got the character Norman Pinkus, and who's returning, and he is, in essence, he's writing a column. Is that the best way to say that? Or he's doing the games?
Well, it's a feature, is what we call it.
It's a feature. Okay, yeah, in there, and which is the whole
Riddle me this.
Yes. Yeah. And so it's actually really good, by Edward Nygma, and they kept that's where they get that, just so keeps his name out of it.
And because you don't have the physical book, you don't know that the entire puzzle is actually the first puzzle is in the book.
What?
So, yes. Now you have the audiobook. Will Dameron reads that first puzzle at the beginning of the audiobook.
That makes sense now. That makes sense.
Well,
okay.
There are several references to this puzzle throughout the book, because it is the puzzle that is in the Gotham Globe the day that we meet Norman in the present day.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna have to get the book.
Well, I will say that we did post that image of that puzzle on like dc.com or something like that.
Okay.
There's some website that's got the puzzle, and so if you just want to see the physical version of it. But also, our book comes with the answers in the back.
Okay. Well then. Yeah.
And that is something where, that puzzle is deliberately, we try to approach it the way that we thought that Norman would. We show you Norman actually writing one of the puzzles.
Yeah.
And the thought process that he's going through. Well, I want to make these things funny. I want to make these things, have some Gotham City in-jokes in them. I want these things to, some of them have to be hard. Some of the questions have to be hard. Some of them have to make people pound the table, how hard they are. And then there's some that are too hard, and he acknowledges that he's made them too hard. I'm pretty sure that most people will when they're doing that first puzzle on their own, I don't know that anybody's going to just get all 16 or actually 20 clues answered without working backwards, because he created this game where you can either answer the 16 questions and it gives you the secret word at the end, or you can have once you have the later answers, you can work backwards to fill out the rest. And again,
it's really good. Yeah.
What am I doing here? I'm riffing on in the 80s, Trivial Pursuit was the thing.
Yes.
And there's also more modern day. We had the app Trivia HQ, which was the contest where you would answer the questions and win a share of the prize money. And then of course you've got Wordle and all that other stuff now. Right. But we're back in 1989, so what do we got? We've got postcards that people are sending their answers in on, and we've also got 1-900 numbers. And that was fairly new in that era.
Yeah,
but
I remember A-Team had one.
Yeah,
who was Face's father, I think was what it was, and then
well, you're skipping the most obvious, the death of Robin.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah.
And I voted for him to die.
Well, it's the interesting thing is that I was able to pull that is basically our most recent consumer technology, and tie it into something that would work into a story about the newspaper is a big part of this story. The Gotham Globe is a big part of the story. Alexander Knox is a big part of the story. The Riddler, he works there, a big part of the story. So I like the fact that each of these books has kind of given you a look inside operations. You learn more about newspapers in Gotham City in this book. You learn more about the police station. in this book. In Resurrection, you learn a whole lot about the Gotham City theatrical scene,
Mhm.
and you
Mhm.
also learn a lot about the the hospitals,
Yeah.
and how they work. And again, not something you're going to get into in a fast-paced action movie, but we have room to spread out, and so we're able to actually take you into the Hall of Justice, the courtroom, and have some scenes that we were not able to get anywhere else.
Yeah.
Whoa.
It's yeah, so the newspaper part plays a big role. He's employed by the paper to create this game.
Yep.
It's actually doing really well, so it's bringing money in. And one of the cool things about Norman's character is he wants to. This is how I interpret it. He wants to remain anonymous because that's all part of the game a little bit. But then he has this internal struggle later on of getting due notice for what he has done. And you write him incredible. I mean, one of the questions is one is you wrote a character who's like super smart. I mean, just incredibly smart. And even when he meets with the Batman, there's this big meeting, everybody, where he gets the Batman, but there's a wonderful tete-a-tete, going head to head on who's kind of
dueling
smarter.
detective methods.
Yes. Yeah, and you wrote it great.
Yeah, and I wanted to show that they both are Gotham City's greatest detective, but I wanted to show that they're able to get to the same correct answer by different methods.
Yes.
And in Bruce's case, it's not just the technology. It's that he's got this education, he's got Alfred, he's got a lot of other assets that are able to actually I that particular scene was very important to me because I wanted to just I wanted to shock anybody who thought that okay, the Riddler is the brains and Batman's just the guy that punches people out. I think the moment we get at the end of that chapter I think is earned.
Yes.
Because you realize Batman has already figured out a mystery 9 different ways, and so I enjoyed it. The other thing about these books, we have villains, the primary villains in both novels are sympathetic in a way, and what I wanted to show in particular with this book, I wanted to separate our Clayface from the first book from our Riddler in the second, by showing that really our issue with Norman is comes down to the support system he had, and comes down to Alfred is sort of the paternal figure in Bruce's world. We have a whole different thing and a whole different dynamic going on with Norman. And there's another plot like that, or another element like that in this second book as well. And I felt like those questions, is there a way to actually get these characters somewhere closer to an equilibrium, or can we not repair what's gone wrong with their lives, but what can we do for them? Anything, or are they just permanently villains for life?
Yeah.
And we explore that, and I felt like that was something that that thread is out there in the Burton movies, particularly in Batman Returns, where you're like, well, your Catwoman is like maybe one choice away from being redeemed. Penguin, none of this stuff was his fault to begin with. Joker was just a bad dude all along. But
yeah, well, he was. I have enjoyed the journey. Now, everybody, I'm 44 chapters in, so I'm not all the way through. But his character arc, from his beginnings, humble beginnings. Let me put it that way: the past that's wrapped up in that, then where he comes, and then he's really trying to do right. I love the fact that he's calling in the tip line in a character. He's created his own character to call in the tip line to give tips and kind of still protect himself, so he's not, he doesn't reveal himself who he is, even though his mom gives him all kinds of static about it. And it's really funny. But he's so relatable. And then I'm to the part where there's a section in the book. You've got divided up in several sections.
He has a bad day. He has a bad week.
He has a very bad week.
Yeah.
And you're like, the things that just happen one on top of the other, and you're like, it caused me to ponder, caused me to think, how would I react in that kind of a situation?
Yeah.
It almost seems justifiable for I don't want to say the turn that he has, but
and again, a lot of it has to do, as I've said, with the support system, the upbringing, the background. He really, you've got characters, you've got people in real life that can weather a bad day or a bad week, and retain their morals, retain their sense of self. But then you've got people that just have had something. There was an element sort of wrong from the beginning, and like Walter White in Breaking Bad. I mean it was always there, and it just gets brought out, and the question is, well, can what's been done be undone in any way? That's that is. I always refer back to Gene Siskel's review of Batman Returns, which is that's we're actually looking at these characters. Can they actually come out of this thing with some sort of peace? And how is it not crazy that we're talking about a superhero movie that way? And so I really that was all part of me trying to rhyme with the Tim Burton version of Batman. I would think that if my assignment had been just do a straight Batman story or do a Batman story in any other part of the milieu, you would not have seen those themes to the same degree.
It is fabulous. The way you've written the themes in, and just, I've so enjoyed Norman's character arc in there. There's this whole scene where there's a double date scene, and you don't know really what's going to happen yet. The Knox is like, hey, I want to go see this girl. I've been trying to get connected with her, but it's got to be a double date kind of a thing. Yep. And then Norman gets involved in it. And I'm not going to say anything about who.
We've got half the table now. So there we go.
Right. But how he reacts, how he acts, all the things that happen, you're like, oh, some of it you're like excited for him about, and then other parts you're like, oh, that's just his character, who he is at this moment, kind of, and see those moments, but the transition of how he becomes more confident later, and just seeing the change in who he is, and is he continuing to play this character, or has it really been him all along? Kind of a thing. And just the arc has been fabulous to listen to. And you, as I'm listening to it, I can imagine all the way you've written it. I mean, it's like a movie in your head. because it's just, okay, this makes sense. Oh, he did this, or he dropped it. Oh, this happened. The reaction here, and so it's been a fun. It's been absolutely fun read, absolutely fun, almost to the point where I'm like, this is probably sacrilege, but I'm like, I've almost forgotten about Batman. I'm so encouraged by all the other stuff.
Well, Batman is in these movies again, is a supporting player. I mean, he's not first billing, in the first movie. I think that this is another way that I'm trying to rhyme with, the films is that, this is, he's, here are the villains, they're entering his world, and he's going to be the one that's standing when it's done, and what happens to everybody else as a consequence of their dealing with him, because he changes some, and we get some of his changing through the course of these stories, but we also know what he's like in the second movie already, and where we're at least in my thinking, there's another 2.5 years before the second movie.
Okay. Well, even it's almost like now I'm starting to think of character developments and what you're mirroring, like what you're rhyming with. That was your term. I like that, by the way. Even a character in the second movie, it's the same thing. All the things that happen to this person, and then what do they become, or what comes out of that? Now, I'm trying not to. I'm trying to be. Really
I appreciate that. I think that I was very much looking for ways to use what was on the screen, and I my whole deal here was not to just have cameo, but if I was going to have a character in the story, I was gonna find some way to actually use it. One of the things that we pay off in the second book is that initial scene in the first movie where Harvey Dent is being introduced as the guy that's going to take down the Grissom organization. And, you would think that, well, the Joker did that. But no, there's a part of it left undone yet. And, that is able to, and that's something where we were able to give Harvey, some good character moments, in this book. He's, I think, he's somebody in the first book, mentions that he always looks like he just, has the winning lottery ticket in his pocket. He's Billy Williams. Come on. He, and, I wanted to, show, he was, debonair like that. But at the same time, we wanted to show he was human enough that, when a certain character gets a very raw deal in this book, he's sympathetic.
Yeah, he is. And I don't want to spoil that scene of what's happening, because it's, anyway, I want to be careful.
Yeah, it's central too.
But he comes across like rock in a hard place. Like I could tell he was feeling, or in the moment that something happened, you could tell he struggled with, here's justice, but it's affecting another type of justice. And also I'm telling you, it is a great book. It is really good. I mean, the first one was good. Don't get me wrong. I really enjoyed the first one with Clayface and all the other things that happen in that. And that's not a spoiler. But I mean, that's
he's in chapter 1. We're working with that.
Yeah. But this one, I have so enjoyed how you've written the Riddler. How he's come through. I've got it, how you're weaving there are more villains at play, and I don't
Oh,
want to spoil anything on that. I don't want to. There's all kinds of different things that are happening, and you're weaving these in.
Well, it is. This book is the longest novel I've ever written. But it's
Really?
also, oh yeah, but it's it's a good 100 pages more than the first book. So
Yeah.
we had room to sort of spread out.
Yeah.
And-
Well, you did a fabulous job of spreading out. I'm just saying. And how did you come up with how did you work through creating probably someone who is a genius level character? And then how did you work through all the riddles? And
well,
even
yeah.
I mean, I can't imagine the work that would have been to create, because they're good. They're really good.
What we wanted to do was come up with a Riddler that we had never seen before, just like we had a Clayface that we'd never seen before. And I was thinking about, well, this is a really problematic character because, as he first appears in the 1940s, his whole deal is silly. I'm going to give you a riddle, and if you can answer the riddle, then you send me to jail. And later, when they get more sophisticated, it becomes, I'm going to give you a riddle, and if you follow the riddle, we'll trap you, and you'll be in a trap. And I was just like, Bruce Wayne, Alfred, as we see them in these pictures, they're just too smart for this. They're not going to go for that. They're not going to go for that at all. And so I'm like, well, what if we have a guy whose job is to ask questions? And what if we have a guy who, as the back of the book in my hand says, question everything. What if we actually, give him a soapbox, and make questioning things a part of something bigger, a part of a philosophy, and
Mhm.
we also have a little bit of that going on with Bruce and Commissioner Gordon, where they're the job of a detective is to try to answer questions, and we have a subplot that appears in this book having to do with the two of them, and
Mm.
I think that is something where we were able to work the questioning
Mhm.
into thematically into something like that. I should say, when we started doing these things, you never say, "Oh, I want this book to be about questioning or parents or whatever else." It just happens that way. But as you keep working on it, you realize, oh, well, if I throw this thing in here, well, now we've got something that looks like theme. We've got something that looks like we planned it. Um, and then that's good. But I mean, I really I wanted to figure out, how can I make the riddling part of this character central to who he is, make it operationally useful both to him and the things he's trying to do,
Mhm.
make it something where it still does force Batman to answer some riddles, answer some questions,
Yeah.
and give the reader that fun. And also it has to feel like, well, yeah, this might have been how you might have done it on a movie screen.
Mhm. Well,
And
each of the riddles, even the ones outside of Batman, the ones that he asks others,
yeah,
as I'm in the 3 weeks that he's being the Riddler, he's been that time frame.
yeah,
When he talks with people, he's just constantly doing them. I
yeah,
mean, it's just, and it's kind of fun because you're like, oh, I wonder what that is. And you're engaging with it, but they're all apropos to what's happening in that scene.
yep,
That was the genius of it. It was like, oh, this is not just, I'm just going to shoe in
yeah,
a riddle. No, it has everything to do with what's happening
yep.
in that moment. So it was, I don't know how you did it, but it's really well done. I mean, I was just like, I, it, I was totally engrossed in it. And I was like, it just seems so natural. Like nothing. What's the phrase they use about movies when you recognize an actor? It takes you out of the movie or whatever. Never did I feel that at all. Never did I feel like anything that happened it was taking me out of the. This. Now, everybody, I will say this. As I said, I've only read 44 chapters, but I was trying so hard to get to chapter 57 for sure. And that's a big wink. I'm winking everybody. I'm winking at John going 57.
Well, there's
That's all I'm going to say.
There's an in joke you'll find when that happens.
Okay.
But yeah, we go 64 chapters, so you're most of the way there.
Yeah, I'm almost there. I'll be there by the end of the week for sure. I'll have it done by the end of the week because I've thoroughly enjoyed popping in. I'm doing dishes. I'm cooking dinner. I've got that thing playing, and so even when I'm running errands in the car, I've got it set up to automatically start where I left off. If I'm running an errand, and so I have thoroughly enjoyed this book. So thank you so much. I can't imagine the hard work you had to put in this book just to have a character super smart like that. All the details of the things you bring up that link to this, to link to this, or the anagram situation of, well, this is, I got to the part where Alfred figures out the logo or the picture. And
well, I want to also credit Tom Holler, the editor on the book. He and I who began discussing this almost 3 years ago now, and he contributed the word search puzzles that are the chapter titles or section titles.
I don't see.
Well, of course you don't.
I gotta buy the book.
You gotta buy a book.
I'm buying them.
Yeah, because let's see if I can get there.
Speak
the hidden words,
and
of course you flip the page and you get the actual title.
Oh, nice.
And that was something where we had gone back and forth on what we wanted to do as a device there. But again, he and also Megan at Warner Brothers, all very helpful in terms, and our proofreading staff, very helpful in terms of making sure I got the facts right on various things. There's a whole thing here about a piece of music, and Megan at Warner Brothers knows her music better than I do. So she was able to suggest a way to, or a particular piece that worked better. And I was happy to use it for a particular point in the plot.
Okay. I'm only at the part where the person that hears it is talking to Norman, and I thought it was fascinating because he was like, even Batman didn't get it. Kind of a. It's almost like he was really upset that Batman figured out his way, or from Batman's point of view, he didn't believe it that he got to the same conclusion on some things, and it really aggravated him. Yeah, he couldn't believe it. It's like
because he felt like that was his thing,
Yeah. So I don't want to give more, but
again, what's the theme here? A frustrated person dealing with frustration.
Yeah. I like that. Yeah. A guy who, I'm trying to be careful because there's so much I want to talk about.
And I do appreciate it because I think that there are some fun secrets in the book.
It's just fabulous. So, you probably can't answer this, or it's not a spoiler thing, but I have noticed a lot more books today have the colored edges.
Oh yeah,
like they do images and stuff. You think how do you know if people want to do that or not, or what's because I would love to have that.
I've got several behind me here. In fact, there's a whole stack over here, which are the let's see here. This is the Polish edition of Knight Errant, which is my Star Wars novel. It's a box set, and you open the box, and in addition to patches and various things being inside, you've got the sprayed edge is
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
image on the cover.
I
The
like
German
that.
edition of my Star Trek Strange New Worlds novel takes the map that I drew, and that map is the sprayed edge. Although they translate it into German, which is cool. And again, these are the sorts of things that technology has advanced to the point where you can do something cool like that. And it's not the case that necessarily you can afford to do something like that, for the first edition or when the book first
Yeah.
hits.
It becomes its own collector's illustrated edition or something like that.
And so, we've got sprayed edge copies of my Kenobi novel and my Living Force novel and my Knight Errant novel have come from Inkstone in England. Goldsboro did a Living Force sprayed edge. You'll find in your bookstore, higher end versions of books that have the sprayed edges. And how do you get one? I don't know. I keep saying, if you wanted to do it, I think it would be really cool if it were this or that or whatever else. But it's one of the things that I think has, when ebooks came out, people were really wondering, well, what will these things still be a thing for long? And we got our first tip off when I had done a series called Lost Tribe of the Sith. And Lost Tribe was originally 8 ebooks, short stories that we gave away online for free.
I got them at that time.
1 million downloads.
I was one of those.
1 million downloads. And the number one question that we got on that was, when is the physical copy coming out? And we're like, physical copy? You want it? I mean, you got most of the book. And so I said, okay, well, let me add a novella to it, and then let me put maps inside it. I talk about maps. It's, we're talking about, very simple maps. It's 2012 this comes out. It is on its 21st printing.
Wow.
It has never been out of print. And, and again, that is a sign, and these special editions of these novels are a sign, that you can still find readers. And so, I've been really, happy with, the extent to which, a lot of my stuff has been kept in print. Pretty much all of my Star Wars stuff is still in print. The Knights of the Old Republic, Knight Errant, Lost Tribe of the Sith comics, they're all out again now in these omnibuses. 2 giant books. You can get the whole, everything I did for the Old Republic. And I have these things on my eBay store, but also, you can get them at any store, just not signed by me. Again, I'm just really happy that they're out there, and that they keep them available, and that people want to keep reading the stories.
Yeah. Well, I'll probably just end up going and getting one, and then getting one, and then if there's a sprayed edge one, I'll totally
not an official one. People do their own.
Oh, really?
I've not seen one for Batman, but that was one of the interesting things about Knight Errant is Knight Errant never had a hardcover, but I had signed a bunch of hardcovers because people had done their homebrew ones.
Wow.
I remember somebody showed me a Lost Tribe of the Sith hardcover. There isn't one, not a real one, an official one. But again, they just did it themselves, and they make
their own hardcovers and then take the print and put it in.
Yeah, and that stuff is cool. It's something that I got paid for it already, because they're just taking a physical book that already exists.
Yeah.
And they're you're putting a new cover on it. But I like the fact that these things are that we've got multiple versions for things. If you want to read Batman Resurrection in paperback, it is available in paperback. If you want to read it in hardcover, the hardcover is gone back to press, so you've got that as well.
Yes. Yeah. Speaking of which, I should have done this at the beginning. I'm so sorry, John. The website, his website is farawaypress.com, FARAWAYPRESS, farawaypress.com. And there you can find all things John Jackson Miller, even a store that you can order stuff to as well.
Yep, it's a link to my eBay store. I used to have it just as part of my site, but as it turns out, eBay is actually the best way I've found anywhere to send things overseas from. Well, because what they do is you just send you just send the book to Chicago, and they put it on their own plane, and then they take it over to wherever it is, and then they handle the customs, they handle all the overseas shipping and everything. For years, when I was having an online store, I was like, I just can't even do this, because I would get addresses, and I'm like, well, what line does this go on? I don't even know.
Yeah.
And
Interesting.
oh yeah. And in fact, for years eBay would say, click here to say what countries you will ship to and won't ship to, and it was almost not worth doing. And now everything ships international by default. So
okay,
and it's just I have no idea what they charge for the overseas portion of the thing, but no longer do I have to care.
Yeah. Well, I know when we had you on, probably 2 times ago, I had ordered from you a signed copy of the Omnibus.
Oh yeah.
And I still have it. So it's up on my shelf.
Omnibus 2 is now out.
Okay.
So it's and that's on the store as well. So.
Okay, great. Okay. Yeah. So anyway, Faraway Press, everybody, please go check out John Jackson Miller's work. I mean, there's a lot more than just your selling stuff.
Yeah, there's notes on all of my older books. I need to do big essays on my newer stuff, but I keep writing books.
Right. Well, when we had you on last time, when we had for Batman Resurrection. Yeah. Sorry. Thank you. We asked you about your writing. We were learning more about writing and stuff. We said, so when do you decide when to write a book? And without missing a beat, he goes, I check my bank account.
Oh, no, it's that's absolutely it. And this is this time of year here is February. I've been writing. This is there's no conventions really to go to for a while yet. I am about to get back into that season. I've got Pensacon. That's the first time I've been there. Later here in February.
Mm-hmm.
Then in March. We have both Emerald City in Seattle and C2E2 in Chicago's moved up to March as well. But I also have a lot of events that I haven't done before. That Pensacola one's one I haven't done before, so that should be interesting.
Yeah, we had talked about C2E2 at one point because there's a comic book creator that we have, Tom Hutchison.
Oh, yeah.
And we've talked with him several times, and he said he enjoys it. Well, I don't want to say it. Let me rephrase that. He said it is fun, because I was talking about should I go to San Diego Comic-Con or not and stuff. And I said, what are my options? Because I can't afford San Diego Comic-Con. And he said C2E2, he said, was a really good one.
It is. I went to the very first one in 2010 and have ggone to multiple ones since then. There was even a time where I wasn't a guest. I just went down with my son for a day and was able to sort of get that experience. But it is in particular what we do there is a really cool thing. There's a section called the Writer's Block, and then they also do that at Emerald City and at New York Comic-Con. And in particular, C2E2, the Writer's Block is right at the bottom of the escalators, coming from where the panels and seminars are held. So
Uh-huh.
this particular last year, I did my Legacy of Tim Burton's Batman slideshow that I've done at a number of events, and
Oh,
that was a
fun.
packed room on a Sunday morning. And as
Huh.
soon as we were done, everybody was following me, down the escalator to my table, and they actually had to manage the line, which does not usually happen in that corner
Yeah.
of the building. But again, it is a very fun show. It is
Yeah.
not the easiest downtown to get to, but that's Chicago.
Yeah. That's Chicago. One of the funny things is I love how you post on Facebook and stuff, because several times you've been next to Timothy Zahn.
Yeah.
And stuff.
Yeah,
It just seems like you guys could be trouble sitting next to each other. Just saying.
Well, yeah, depending on the show, we're adjacent, and they always get us into panels together, and so yeah, it is a little community of people that kind of go around, and we'll even if we all haven't gone to the same show, somebody has, and they'll be able to say, oh well, that one's good, or yeah, don't do that one.
Gotcha. Well, man, our hour is already up. Holy cow. I just want to say thank you for your time. Thanks for hanging out with us. The book is fabulous. It's great. That's why I have no qualms about saying, even though I'm listening to it, I have no qualms of buying the hardback, because it's good. It's really good. And so if anybody out there, if you haven't gotten the first one, Resurrection, do you feel people have to have that
No,
one in
I
order to
think
get the second one?
But I'll say this. You no more have to have read Resurrection than you have to have seen Batman to enjoy Batman Returns.
Okay. Yeah.
But it would sure help.
Yeah. Yeah.
It makes it better. It makes it better. I mean, Norman's story starts in the middle of book one.
Yeah. Yeah. I almost forgot about that until you mentioned it. Until you started saying that.
A lot of people have been reading the first one again and realizing, oh, he did that, and he did that. He's very much in the first book.
Yeah, it's good.
I've completely forgot that.
Yeah, no, but it's really.
You will be reminded. He will remind you in the second book.
Okay.
Yeah, and then it's really good. If anyone wants to get it, what's the preferred way for people to order it? Would you prefer them to go to Faraway Press to order? If they want to go through eBay?
If still in bookstores, go to your bookstore. If you want a signed copy, my eBay store, which is Faraway Press on eBay. But there's a link to it on farawaypress.com. Yeah, signed copy can come from me. But otherwise, always go
to your
local bookstore is a fast way to get it, and also getting it there means you're telling the bookstore, hey, we want more of these books.
Ha ha ha! Good to know. Good to know. Well, any last thoughts or comments you want to share about? I know you've got Easter eggs all through it, so I know there's some stuff in there, but we'll have to save that for another time. I want people to get it, then they can read it, then we can talk about the Easter egg stuff.
Yeah. I'm not sure you're gonna get the chapter 57 Easter egg. Actually, you will.
I saw it in the in the contents when it lists the contents.
Leave it there.
Yes, sir.
I don't. Okay. Yeah.
I want to honor that. Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Okay.
It's good. I absolutely don't want to kill any buzz.
Right. Yeah. Right. It's you have done so much. I mean, I love reading. I love getting in there and good storytelling. But you have woven such an incredible tapestry of stuff in this book from the previous into this one, but also some other things, and just the riddles and the how you've brought in different characters. It's just fabulous. It's a great book. It's, sometimes we'll talk, John, we'll talk about on the show, we'll talk about, is it worth seeing, like if it's a movie, we'll say, is it worth buying on Blu-ray? Is it worth seeing in the theater? I'm telling you, just here's my score, everybody. It is worth buying the audiobook, and it's even worth buying the hardback in accompany that. So it's good.
By all you want, we'll make more.
Okay.
we'll print more versions of the same book.
Anything else you want to leave us with any kind of
folks can find me on social media. I'm JJM Faraway on Twitter. I am John Jackson Miller on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok and Threads, and I am farawaypress.com on Blue Sky.
Okay. Nice. How do you manage all those?
No, you. I barely posted this month.
That's awesome. All right. Well, with that, everybody, hey, thanks so much for joining us tonight and just hanging out with us here on Two Geeks and a Microphone with John Jackson Miller. It's been fabulous. John, thanks so much for joining us. It's always fun to have you. We always have a great time. And so we really appreciate it. Everybody, if you want to check out our website is www.twogeeksmic.com. That's the number 2, GEEKSMIC.com. There you can find all things Two Geeks. You can get to our Ko-fi page, or you can go ko-fi.com/2geeks. That is just, we keep it cheap. It just helps us pay for the stuff we need to do this stuff and with the mugs. Yes, we have our merch too as well. Thank you, John.
Always be selling.
Yes. Yeah. We're learning. Yes. 2geeksmicmerch.com. I can also get you there. And then also, if you want to reach out to us, say hey, or make suggestions or comments, feel free to email us at show@2geeksmic.com. It does a great job of keeping an eye on the email as well. And don't forget to go to John Jackson Miller's site, farawaypress.com. Get all things John Jackson Miller. All right, Mike, do you have anything else?
Just that if you made it this far, please make sure and follow us on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, and Rumble.
Awesome, D. Dawson. All right. Well, with that, everybody, thanks so much for joining us. And Mike's usually doing the outro. You do better at these than I do. So don't Steven skip this episode.
Please do not even skip this episode, because we are much more better than the rest.
Cheers.
Thank you for joining us today on the Two Geeks and a Microphone podcast. Tune in next week when we will have more news and reviews. Until then,
may the force be with you.